How's it going, everybody? Ragaroth here. So, just a few hours ago at the time I'm recording this, they just officially announced the new Doom game, Doom: The Dark Ages, and basically, to put it shortly, I need it right now. I need it injected in my veins. It looked beautiful. It might be my most anticipated game next year, at least as of right now. The main reason I'm doing this is just to kind of maybe talk about a couple things I'm hoping we see from the game. Honestly, Doom Eternal was a fantastic game. It was probably one of my favorite first-person shooters in a long time. Doom 2016 as well, but Doom Eternal even more so. And honestly, there's not really much I can hope for that Doom Eternal didn't have for this to have. I guess it's more as a matter of keeping things that Eternal did, and maybe even bringing some things that 2016 actually did a bit better, or even had back. So I just want to go over a few of them. So I guess the first thing I wanted to mention, it would be cool if SnapMap could return. Now, for those that don't know, SnapMap was a feature in Doom 2016 where you could kind of like create your own sort of map or stages, things like that. Had fun with it, and this was unfortunately removed from Doom Eternal, and they were kind of adamant about not bringing it back. I think maybe it's because, it's been a while. I think if I remember correctly, maybe not enough people played it, and they just didn't think it was worth it. And I will be honest, I kind of just messed around in it a little bit. I didn't really play around it that much, but it was fun, and it would be nice to see it return. Honestly, even if it's not in the base game and it was paid DLC, not that I'm saying that's the ideal scenario, I would take that, if that's what it took for them to kind of bring it back. Now for my next hope or want, I do hope that all of the weapons that were in Doom Eternal do return, either as they were in Eternal or kind of a, medieval Dark Age-defied version of them themselves. It looks like that's already happening. I mean, we've seen the Super Shotgun. I don't really count the Super Shotgun because I feel like that's a gun that's, it's more anachronistic, that you could kind of match it in any age. I mean, not that they had shotguns back then, but it at least looks a little less out of place than, say, like a pulse rifle or something like that. Not only that, but I think the Super Shotgun has become kind of like Doomslayer's sort of his main weapon, that isn't like the BFG. It's basically the Tech 9 to Doomslayer's RoboCop, in a sense. And I think we've already seen the pulse rifle, and I believe the standard rifle that could be like a shotgun. We've kind of already seen from that, and then that new spreader weapon, whatever the hell that is. I'm pretty confident that all the weapons, these weapons will return, except for maybe the Unmaker, which would be a shame. Maybe they just might, they just might have a different design or feel to them to kind of match the setting and time of the game. The only thing I can maybe see not returning are kind of the sort of arm blade that he got in Eternal, as well as the shoulder cannon. I kind of feel like the shield and the mace is probably the replacement for those, which is a shame because I did like those, but I mean the shield and mace look really cool so far. I can live without them at least. So the next thing is, I think, just a kind of a good solid replacement for Mick Gordon, assuming that he hasn't come back for this game. He was the composer for the music in Doom 2016 and the base game of Doom Eternal, and basically I think the soundtracks he made are universally loved by anyone that's played the game. I also love his work in Killer Instinct. That was kind of where he started off before he Doom music. Now, assuming we don't get him back, I don't know if the new composers are the people that did, I forget their names, I'm sorry, that did the music for the DLC expansions in Doom Eternal. I think just someone that kind of matches Mick Gordon's vibe as close as possible. I always thought that the number one replacement should be Cell Dweller. For those that don't know, he actually replaced Mick for the Season 3 character themes in Killer Instinct, and he actually composed one of my favorite themes for that game, Gargos' theme. Granted, if Mick Gordon made Gargos' theme, maybe I would have liked it better, but I also really like Cell Dweller's music that he's done outside of Killer Instinct. He's done awesome songs like Own Little World, Switchback, Last Firstborn, I think is what it's called. A long time since I've heard it. The only thing is that he tends to be a little bit more on the electronic side, and considering the setting of this game, that might not match entirely. I mean, we still do have some of that sci-fi-ness, but this might just kind of call for really heavy metal and good band that's an example of that kind of music. That heavy kind of Celtic metal, if that's the right word. Comment below kind of what you probably know, maybe what I'm trying to get at. However, I will say that song that played in the trailer was awesome. So if that's what we expect from the soundtrack for the game, I think we're in good hands. I do know a lot of people kind of said without Mick Gordon that they don't think the games would be good. I gotta disagree with them there. don't think that, you know, his music makes the games, or I don't think his music is the only thing that makes the games good. However, I definitely do think they enhance the game. So if we can just get at least close to his level, I think we found at least a good middle replacement, even though it's still a shame what happened. So this last thing I kind of hope for the game, I guess is a little bit less black and white. I guess if there's one thing that I think Doom 2016 did better, aside from, you know, having snapmap, is I feel like there was maybe, I guess, better player expression in the combat. I had talked about this with some other people way back when. Essentially, I guess what I mean by this is that Doom 2016, you could really kind of use any weapon, any way you wanted to kind of beat any, you know, kill any of the demons how you wanted in the game. In Doom Eternal, you could do this. However, you were kind of putting a handicap on yourself in some cases. Like, you needed certain weapons and certain, or there's like like kind of alternative fire modes for some weapons to really kind of kill certain demons. And if you don't use those strategies, you're kind of putting yourself at a disadvantage. Which, in a way, hey, if you want to challenge yourself, great. But, you know, some of us just kind of want to use whatever we want, how we want, and, you know, the game's hard. This was maybe one thing that I think maybe 2016 did do a little better than Doom Eternal. I like, in a way, it was nice in Doom Eternal because it did make you think more strategically, and it did make you make use of every gun. Maybe if they could just find a better middle ground for this, I think is what I'm kind of looking for. This is something that I can't really tell from the trailer. I don't think we have enough information. We haven't seen enough weapons. We haven't seen enough demons. So, kind of hard to say there. But that's really it. I mean, I guess as a bonus hope, I mean, it would be nice if this game didn't come out like during the start of a worldwide pandemic. That's kind of out of the developer's control, but, you know, if I had to toss another one out there. But yeah, that's really all I got. I have, for the most part, pretty high confidence that id Software will kind of deliver on these things. And if they don't, there will probably be kind of new awesome things to look forward to in its place. I admittedly was a little, maybe a little bummed out when I heard the rumor that it was going to take place in like kind of a medieval Dark Ages setting. But that kind of idea kind of grew on me because I figured it was something kind of new and different. It'd be kind of like Berserk or something like that. And because it doesn't help that I feel like kind of the medieval fantasy kind of trope in a lot of games is a little played out, but I think it looks amazing in this type. And it seems like they've kind of mixed a lot of the sci-fi stuff in there anyway. I'm pretty confident with this game. I mean, it is the first game that they're making kind of under, since they've been bought by Xbox for whatever that's worth. But yeah, you know what? I guess now I'm going to leave it to you guys. What are some hopes that you're hoping to see from the game? What are things, you know, you want to maybe see improve from Doom Eternal, or maybe come back from Doom 2016, or maybe something that I'm not even thinking of? I mean, it's really hard to think of anything just because both games were so great, and this game is already, from just that trailer, really already won me over. But yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. First, you know the usual, like the video if you like it, dislike if you dislike it. Definitely consider subscribing if you like this video and some of my others. It would really help the channel out a lot. You can check out my Discord in the description below. You can hang out with me and my friends, watch stuff, all good things like that. But thank you so much for checking out this video, and I'm definitely probably going to try to cover this game a bit more when we get more news. But as I always say, another time, another place. Keep being awesome.